Okay, hey, I can't begin to tell you how just profound and touching this whole experience is with my birthday yesterday. Thank you, everybody who helped me celebrate, and thank you, everybody, for your well wishes. I do appreciate, I really do love each and every single one of you. If you're listening to me on this channel, stay tuned and pay close attention, because this is something that I really need to just talk about and just tell you how Astrocat really works. So this is dailyastrocats.com. I'm your host, Shane, and this is my my daily podcast of all things astrological. It includes things like a bell. We got chimes that we throw in there as well. And we do that just to call you to mindfulness, to get you to begin to be receptive to what's going to be said about today's daily astrology, and we end it with a bell. Today is Friday, and it's the 28th of March. Now, like I said, my birthday was yesterday, and it was very, very good, and I can't tell you just how much I enjoyed it, and how surprising it was, and how just a lot of what was said in yesterday's Astrocat, you can go back and listen to it. It was very profound, and it was very, very literal in some senses. Now, today, we're going to be talking about a totally different day. We are getting ready for a solar eclipse, and the solar eclipse is going to occur in Aries. The nodes are in on the Pisces Virgo axis, but because there's 10 degrees or 12 degrees of play in where the sun and moon will pass the ecliptic, and because the moon happens to be a perigee to Earth, that is going to totally block out the sun. So it's going to be a total eclipse in some parts of the world. Here on the East Coast, we may very well see some effect of it in the morning, just the early morning hours, right after sunrise. We're going to have a little bit of a dampened sun. So it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait. I hope I'm up early enough to see it, and I hope the weather is clear. It's supposed to be, hopefully it's supposed to be good. So what we've got is the moon is going to be void of course at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's going to enter Aries at 4:38. Now, all day long, we're going to have an opportunity to fix our Venus things. What are Venus things? What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about, perhaps lifestyles, relationships, definitely, and our creative endeavors. Venus in Pisces does these things with open arms. We're going to open our arms up, right? Mars in Cancer is at the beginning stage of the Venus-Mars trine. All right, and this is going to be the ultimate one. This is the last one. It's going to take us for till Venus starts coming around, right? Venus will pass. She'll pass Mars, and then there'll be one sometime in the fall, right? But this is going to get us set up for the summer, right? This is your springtime romance, right? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Now, we've got, it's a trine, so it's a very harmonious energy. It's a good energy. We've got Mars in Cancer, and it's the beginning stage. What's going to happen? Well, Mars is going to pass into Leo, and we're going to start coming into what it is that we have to do and what our own is. Today, we have the chance to just correct all those things that we have. We're going to start that process. We're going to begin a process. Remember, we've been talking about process here. Ever since, oh, goodness gracious, I think since the beginning of the calendar year. But we're just beginning the zodiacal year. So this feels very new and very fresh. We also have that the eclipse happening with the nodes that just recently shifted. We had that first iteration of it with that with the full moon, the lunar eclipse in Virgo, and now we're going to have the solar eclipse in Aries with the nodes in Pisces. Okay, so that being said, the time to make corrections is now. And today's keyword is going to be awakening. The color is the dawn's early light. Well, it'll be very interesting on Saturday when we see that light, right? But it's supposed to be raining, though, so I'm not quite sure. So the energy we give away is our gift to the world. It doesn't always return to us in ways that we expect it to, though, does it? Sometimes it feels like we're throwing it out into the void, never to be seen again. Oh, doesn't it feel like that sometimes? Yeah, it does. But it's energy, right? Conservation law of energy. Einstein. As such, you can't destroy it. That energy you send out there, it's your own unique brand. Goes out there. What happens to it? Well, since it can't be destroyed, just don't stop putting it out there. If it doesn't return to you, don't stop. Because what's going to happen is that when you least expect it, that energy is going to be amplified and returned. And then the cycle is going to begin again from that, right? And it's a newer and more exalted place because that energy returns and it starts to build it like layers. It elevates itself. Venus in Pisces is exalted. And that exaltation just returns, right? Now, it has to do with energy. It doesn't have to do with Venus, but it's a very, very apt metaphor for the whole process. When the cycle begins again, right, that's what's happening. Now, this is how I've been saying that. This is how I see the nodes working, the eclipse cycles, right? It's that energy that builds. We get to the point, we get to the south node eclipses, and that's where we reset the base point expectation, and then we go back around to the north node, and that's where that expectation is fulfilled, right? That's where we start to begin to embody what it is that we've let go, right? We've reset. We've let go of whatever it is we're supposed to be learning, and now we're on a new path, and we're going to be doing something better now. That's a good thing, right? Now, this resulting elevation of our energetic vibe after we go through that is the evolution. That's the evolution of the nodes, that resulting vibe that we have where we elevate our state. And look, it's how we define and refine our divine purpose. That's the evolution. Now, the power of Mars is beginning to surge forward, and you can feel the love of Venus through our compassion and emotion. Creativity is here for those who can keep their feet on the ground. Pisces, right? Neptune, very, very prominent today. The moon's going to be conjunct both Venus and Neptune in Pisces. That illusion, that misty stuff of Neptune sometimes. You can get lost. You can get lost in substances and fantasy and detaching yourself. The presence of Saturn in this whole stellium, the group of planets that's in Pisces right now, from the sun all the way to Saturn, there's like 6 different points that are there right now. That is going to be where we need to be focusing on by keeping our feet on the ground. Now, keep our feet on the ground in the spiritual sign of Pisces sounds kind of odd, but what it means is we need to do the creative work. We need to be able to have a clear vision of what it is we want to do, act with our intuition and our best interests in mind to preserve what it is that we have so we can move forward in harmony with both Venus and Mars, with both our creative and our actively creative things that we do. The sign of Leo is a very creative sign. So once Mars passes through this place of Cancer, Cancer's a cardinal sign, and it's an initiator. So we have this, we're initiating a process that we're going to carry through into the Leo season. It's why summers can feel so darn good, right? That's what's happening. Now, now, what causes that? Well, it's the Saturn. I just told you that. So Saturn is kind of like an ancient sphinx, an enigma. It's a guardian, right? First, you got to reach the guardian. It's no easy task. You got to do the work. You have to learn what it is that you're doing. And then you must answer the riddle. What's the riddle? Learn how to ask the right question. Now, Pluto. Throw some Pluto into the mix, right? Pluto is sextile to the sun, and it indicates this awakening. What's awakening? Well, for some, I'm going to argue it's the Aquarian age, because we have Pluto and Aquarius just starting to move, starting to wake up, starting to get us moving in a certain direction. look, we're going to feel it keenly as we head into early Saturday morning, right? That eclipse is going to happen early in the morning hours. There's an eclipse. Now you got to be prepared to take your evolutionary step, right? You're going to be stepping into a new direction that may be predicated on an old direction, or maybe it's predicated on understanding exactly what these energy fields are and how they elevate and how we're going to move forward in an elevated state. I like that. I hope you do too. If you agree with this, or if you disagree with it, leave me a comment. Tell me. Say, Shane, you're out of your mind. Shane, I really agree with you. That resonates with me. If it resonates with you, I'm very happy. Please like, follow, subscribe, do the things you have to do. In 1774, the government of Britain passes the Coercive Act against Massachusetts. It was a response to the Boston Tea Party. We were taught in school that these are the intolerable acts. And, it's our perspective, right? They called the coercive acts in Britain. We say that's intolerable. What were they? Okay, well, first of all, there was a Boston Port Act, and that closed the port of the city of Boston until the damages were repaid from the Tea Party. They paid for the destroyed tea that got dumped into the harbor. The Government Act basically restricted the Massachusetts charter and gave more power to the royal governor and took it away from the individual towns, town meetings and everything like that were in place as a form of government, still around in these parts. Now, what else happened? Well, we got the Administration of Justice Act. That allowed British officials accused of crimes in Massachusetts to be tried in Great Britain rather than in the colonies. And then this one really pissed everybody off, was a Quartering Act. Okay. It allowed for soldiers, British troops, to be housed in private homes, inns, and other things like that, basically uncompensated for, right? Just there's British soldiers. Oh, they're going to stay at your house. Okay. That's an intolerable act. There was also called the Quebec Act, which expanded the boundaries of Quebec down to the Ohio River. Talk about wanting to, and granted religious freedoms to Catholics, to piss off the Protestants that were in charge of New England, right? So the Protestant colonists were all upset about this because that's an intolerable act. So, speaking of Great Britain, now that we got our history lesson done, you learn that stuff around here, particularly with a New England focus and a Boston focus, right? In 1969, James Atkin, he's a British rock singer. And he's a guitarist. He's with EMF. You know the song, Unbelievable. Born in Birmingham, England. Born in 1969. And that's what we got for you. So, our color is the dawn's early light. And our keyword is awakening. We're getting there. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate and love each and every single one of you. I hope you get to enjoy something as much as I did yesterday, okay? Because that was a very enjoyable birthday. Peace, love, understanding, everything. Send it all out to you. Today is a 7. Happy astrocatting. I'm really bad at these endings.